Dear friends, this is episode number 80. We were dealing with Rule 27 and I read clause B. The appellate court requires any document to be produced or any witness to be examined to enable it to pronounce judgment. There is one more thing, or for any other substantial cause. To enable it to pronounce judgment or for any other substantial cause. It may direct a document to be produced, etc. as additional evidence. Now, reasons. Subrule 2. Wherever additional evidence is allowed to be produced by an appellate court, the court shall record the reason for its admission. Mode of taking additional evidence. Rule 28. After completing Rule 29, I will refer to some of the decisions of the Supreme Court and the High Court on that point. Mode of taking additional evidence. Wherever additional evidence is allowed to be produced, the appellate court may either take such evidence or direct the court from whose decree the appeal is preferred or any other subordinate court to take such evidence and to send it when taken to the appellate court. Who will take the additional evidence? The appellate court, we have seen, has the same powers as that of the trial court. There is nothing wrong in recording evidence at the appellate court, whether it is the district court or high court. Even high court can take evidence. There is no harm. But because of paucity of time, pressure of work, it may not be feasible many times for the appellate court to record evidence. The parties may also find it difficult. The appellate court may be far away. The parties may find it difficult. So if the additional evidence is directed to be taken by the court, trial court, it will be easier for the parties also. And that evidence can be taken and sent to. So whenever additional evidence is allowed to be produced, the appellate court may either take such evidence or direct the court from whose decree the appeal is preferred or any other subordinate court to take such evidence and to send it when taken to the appellate court. So what is the duty of the subordinate court when the appellate court directs to take additional evidence? The parties will appear before that court, the trial court or such other subordinate court, any court having jurisdiction can be sent. Even I said any court having jurisdiction, even that is not necessary, or any other subordinate court. That will record that additional evidence and send it to the appellate court. That is the procedure, mode of taking. Points to be defined and recorded. Where additional evidence is directed or allowed to be taken, the appellate court shall specify the points to which the evidence is to be confined and record on its proceedings the points so specified. So if oral evidence is required, additional in the form of additional evidence, if a document is to be produced and accepted, that can be done in the appellate court itself. Or if a document is to be proved, then evidence may be required. It can be sent to the subordinate court. Suppose a will. Will, as you know, has to be proved in accordance with the law. Section 68 of the Evidence Act. It has to be proved like that. At least by examining at least one attesting witness must be examined. So evidence may be required to prove. There are certain other documents also which requires proof. In which case oral evidence may be required. Then it will be sent to that court, either to the trial court or to any court subordinate to the appellate court, to record that and send it. Then with that direction, the direction is only to do it. and no decision to be taken by that court, unlike what we saw in Rule 25. Rule 25, it is refer to the trial court to try an issue and then take a decision with reasons, then send it along with the records, then file objections and decide, the appellate court. Here it is not the procedure. Here the appellate court itself may do it and decide the appeal. Or if oral evidence, the appellate court finds that it is to be taken by the trial court or any other subordinate court, may direct it to be done. And specific directions shall be given. Specify the points to which the evidence is to be confined and the record of its proceedings, the points so specified. So this is a mode of taking additional evidence. But additional evidence normally will not be entertained. So usual laxity in the matter of trial will not work, particularly after the 99 amendment. You have to be vigilant. When a case is there, it is not a dragging. It is finishing, completely finishing at the earliest opportunity and complete disposal, not piecemeal, not half-hearted, or keep some records ready and then when appeal is filed, say I was not aware of this, produce this, and evidence is required, remand it, not remand, allow that to be done, etc., etc. All those things won't work now. Won't work. Once it is not produced, finished. But the court may require any document to be produced in spite of the parties failing to make out the grounds under Rule 27, the court may still, court has power. Now let us see some of the decisions. The general principle is that the appellate court should not travel outside the record of the lower court and cannot take any evidence in appeal. That is a general principle. AR 1965 Supreme Court 1008. Now please see 2012 8 SCC 148 Union of India versus Ibrahimuddin. Whenever appellate court admits additional evidence, it should record its reasons for doing so. It is a salutary provision which operates as a check against a too easy reception of evidence at a late stage of litigation, and the statement of reasons may inspire confidence and disarm objection. Another reason for this requirement is that where a further appeal lies from the decision, the record of reasons will be useful and necessary for the court of further appeal to see. If the discretion under this rule has been properly exercised by the court. Why reasons should be there in the order? Because the appellate court therefrom, the appellate court, suppose particularly when the court has exercised a discretion on the facts, exercise that discretion and decision is given without stating the reasons, then how can an appellate or revisional court ascertain whether the court below has properly exercised that discretion? It may not be possible. That is why reasons must be there. The record of reasons will be useful and necessary for the court of further appeal to see if the decision under this rule has been properly exercised by the court below. The omission to record the reasons must therefore be treated as a serious defect. But this provision is only directory and not mandatory if the reception of such evidence can be justified under this rule. Please also see another decision, AER 2011 Supreme Court 559 Malayalam Plantations Limited versus State of Kerala and other. AER 2011 Supreme Court 559, same as 2010 4 KLT 647. Supreme Court is AER 2011 Supreme Court 559 Malayalam Plantations Limited versus State of Kerala. Please also see Shyam Gopal Bindal and others versus LAO and another, LAO Land Acquisition Officer and another. Citation is AER 2010 Supreme Court 690 within brackets 1, because in that page there are two decisions. AER 2010 Supreme Court 690. Please see these decisions. I did not give too much of citations. See, we have to understand the principle. It is not necessary to have a complete list of all the decisions. You may do it, advocates may do it. It is required for their practice. Now all sorts of search engines are there. Therefore, there is no difficulty. Now in Malayalam Plantations, in Shyam Gopal, please see paragraph 8. Shyam Gopal, paragraph 8. Another decision, 2001, 10 SCC 619. At what point of time the application for taking additional evidence to be considered? I file an appeal against the decision of the trial court. I lost in the trial court. I filed an appeal. Along with the appeal, I filed an application for reception of additional evidence under Order 41, Rule 27. You are the respondent. You appear. I press for an order in this IA. What procedure has to the appellate court follow? Take up the IA then itself, hear it, and then allow additional evidence, or reserve it at the time of final hearing? Supreme Court said, don't decide it at the inception, decide it at the time of hearing of the appeal. IA under Rule 27 is to be heard along with the appeal. There are reasons. Sometimes that additional document may not be necessary, additional evidence may not be necessary. See, the appellant says, I am the appellant. I say that some additional evidence is required. Even without that, if I succeed, why should I worry? So at the time of final hearing, the appellate court finds that even otherwise my case is meritorious and the trial court decision was wrong and that decision is set aside. What more I want? Should I again get an opportunity to adduce evidence? and for that purpose send back to the trial court and spend time on it. It is not necessary. So it is not the decision at the inception, just as any other interlocutory application for injunction, stay and all those things. Immediate relief is required, time factor is very relevant, and injunction, the CPC itself provide for a time limit within which the application has to be dealt with. But Rule 27 of Order 41 is not like that. The appellate court will consider it at the time of filing. That is 2001 10 SEC 619. Now, I will give another example. I have not produced any document or evidence before the trial. I did not do anything. I had only the arguments. I said that I have got only question of law to answer. There may be cases like that. No oral evidence is required. It is not as if every case requires oral evidence. Arguments on questions of law alone may be necessary, or admitted or proved facts may be there on record in some other case which the parties admit. No oral evidence may be required sometimes. Then, so in a case, either because of my laches or I thought that no oral evidence is required, I did not adduce any evidence, either of my own or of any witness. I am the plaintiff. I lost in the trial court. I filed an appeal. Then I produce a document as additional evidence, and I substantiate my case that I could not produce it at the time of trial, and I satisfy all the requirements of Rule 27. But you raise a contention. What is Rule 27? It is additional evidence. Did you adduce any evidence so that you can have additional evidence? So to have a Rule 27 additional evidence, there must be a substratum on which there is some evidence. Then only you can have additional evidence, build up on it. Suppose there is a vacuum, no evidence at all, you cannot have additional evidence also. That is your contention. What is the answer? It went up to Supreme Court. You must see the ingenuity of the lawyers, the contentions which can be taken. Rule 27 additional evidence. I satisfied all the conditions of Rule 27. Court is also satisfied. But you are raising a contention. This fellow has not adduced any evidence. Therefore, he cannot have additional evidence even if he satisfies all the requirements of Rule 27. This question was taken up to Supreme Court, and it was answered in AER 1997 Supreme Court 3243. 3243. 1997 Supreme Court 3243. Even if no evidence was adduced in the trial court, Rule 27 can be resorted to. Still, that will be additional evidence. So, to have additional evidence, it is not the requirement of law, there must be some evidence. Even if there is a complete absence of evidence, still you produce a document or evidence before the appellate court and request to accept it, it becomes additional evidence. That is Jaipur Development Authority. Jaipur Development Authority versus Kailashwadi Devi. Kailashwadi Devi. The decision which I gave, AER 1997 Supreme Court 3243, name of the case is Jaipur Development Authority versus Kailashwadi Devi. So, yes, with that we will finish the additional evidence matter. Now come to rule 30, judgment when and where pronounced. I am not reading it. Pronounce judgment in open court, either at once or some future day. Notice shall be given to the parties. After hearing is over, you cannot keep it. The court cannot keep it, judge cannot keep it and pronounce judgment as he wishes. A date to be fixed and notice shall be given to the parties so that they can come to the court and hear and take necessary steps further. Where a written judgment is to be pronounced, it shall be sufficient if the points for determination, the decision thereon, and the final order passed in the appeal are a doubt, and it shall not be necessary for the court to read out the whole judgment. It shall be pronounced in open court. It shall be read out the important provisions. This is the result. You see, this has been decreed or dismissed. See, some clarity for purpose of understanding, you may say that this, but practical aspect, nobody does it. No judge does it. He will just say either dismissed or allowed. Nothing else. It is not so. Decision thereon and the final order passed in appeal are to be read out, and it shall not be necessary for the court to read out the whole judgment. That is not practical. But a copy of the whole judgment shall be made available for perusal of the parties or their pleaders immediately after the judgment is pronounced. It must be available. The advocate must be able to read it. I do not know in how many courts it is being, the subordinate courts. High court there is no difficulty. High court, whenever the judge pronounces a judgment, if it is dictated in open court, then you will not get the copy then and there. But if he takes it for, reserves the judgment and fixes a day and the judgment is pronounced, that can be taken then and there. The judge himself will say, give it for reading. You will read it. And some judges say, you go through it, and if there is a mistake, point out. Not mistake in the reasoning. Mistakes, clerical or something mistakes, or typing mistakes or something like that. Please point out. We used to do it. That should be the method. And in open court at once or on some future day, which shall not be, of which notice shall be. Then 31, I am not reading 30, it is sufficient if you read. 31, contents, date and signature of the judgment. The judgment of the appellate court shall be in writing and shall state, this is important, the points for determination, the decision thereon, the reasons for the decision, and where the decree appealed from is reversed or varied, the relief to which the appellant is entitled. The relief to which the appellant is entitled. And shall at the time that is pronounced be signed and dated by the judge or by the judge concurring therein. In cases where a judgment is not written by the judge in his own hand, but dictated and taken down by another verbatim, each page of the judgment shall be initialed. Where the judgment is pronounced by dictation to a shorthand writer in open court, the transcript of the judgment so pronounced shall, after such revision as may be deemed necessary, be signed by the judge. So I am focusing on Rule 31 only for the 4 clauses. The 4 clauses there. Contents, the judgment of the appellate court shall be in writing and shall state What the points for determination, the decision thereon, the reason for the decision, and either reversed or varied, the relief to which the appellant is entitled. It must be specifically stated. Specifically. And I will come back to some of the decisions in the next episode. Rule 31. I do not know how much time. Yes, we will close it now. Thank you.